Hello, today I will show you a performance of my Dark Season cave line as per usual, and I will also talk about mistakes made by many players trying to clear cave line maps. We will have two discussions. First is about classical tanking strategy, and second is about the choice of mythic unit, specifically Mila versus Air. So first, let's talk about classical tanking strategies, which relies on having one carry unit and one support unit. Someone like Corinne, Lucina, or Kaden. The problem is that even if turn 1 you avoid unit loss, you have to think what you do turn 2. Because Corinne and Lucina, for example, are really bad at sniping my units, especially range units. If I have 4 Cavaliers plus Bramimon and Yun, you have to kill at least Bramimon and 4 Cavaliers if you want to avoid unit loss. Otherwise, you will end up losing 1, 2, or maybe 3 units. So, Lucina and Corinne are not going to be useful in this regard. So, let's make a pause for a moment, because this replay is worth watching. It was really clever. It started well. So this person waits for the boat tower to explode and using Peony's ground order to make the first move. Of course, it was only possible because you have 2 dancers. I think this week is interesting for the cave line because having multiple dancers against cave line is a really big asset. I won't talk too much about weaknesses of cave line because I want to protect myself, but still, multiple dancers is really something that can work nice against cave line, and not just cave line, in fact, against many different defense teams. And this is probably why people are asking for extra dancers. They know a dancer as mythic is very useful for many different team composition in offense. So back to our discussion. It is true that Brave Ike Lucina are top tier duo because they allow you to clear and destroy many different maps, and Brave Ike is still top tier for good reasons. Problem is that if you want to win cave lines, again I will not disclose everything, but at least I am willing to say something. You have to think out of the box. Just because Brave Ike Lucina works well against many different defense composition, it doesn't work against cave line, because a cave line is a very different defense team. And it's very easy to understand why. Because turn 1 you apply so much pressure and you have absolutely nowhere to hide, and 99% of the time you have to make your move turn 1. So knowing this already, it's very obvious that you shouldn't use a classical strategy to beat a cave line. So now we are moving to the next topic, using air or Mila. It seems to me from what I've been seeing lately, many people use Mila against Kevline. I think one possible reason is because they think Mila is good against dancers. She's too good against rally trap and restore trap. She is a cheating code. And in my opinion, Mila is a unit that should have never existed. And people know about that. They know about how cheated this unit is, and this is why they use her. But again, just because Mila works so well against restore trap, rally trap dancers doesn't mean that Mila works equally well against Kevline. The advantage of using air is that air is a range unit. She's very good at sniping my units. Specifically, looking at those stats, you see they have very low defense. And this is why air is very effective. Also, she is a dagger. That means after attacking, she applies dagger debuff, -7 death res, and this is a lot. It helps the other units you have to one-shot my unit. Imagine, for example, if you need 2 units to kill one single unit. Well, that's bad. If you need, for example, to move Lucina and hit Lin once, and one-shot Lin with air, that means using 2 units to kill 1 unit. This is game over. Best case scenario, ideal scenario is 1 unit for 1 unit. Because remember, I have 6 units on defense and you only have 5. And some of them are unreliable. For example, you cannot use Peony to attack. Let's make a pause again. I wanted to make sure that my Lucina will not die. Of course, she needs something like speed death solo. I'm waiting for it. But it's very difficult to kill Mia. And it happened. Still, I don't think this build is good, because it's obviously not good, but it's effective because of fear stance and drive attack. So as you can see, what happens here, having 1 unit lost on my side turn 1 makes it a lot easier for you to clear this map. But again, you have to think about possible scenarios turn 2, because most of the time I think, especially against good players, turn 1 is not what matters the most, but turn 2 is what matters the most. It's what makes them decide quit or continue. So again, back to the topic, Mila air. Here, as I said, she's very good at sniping the units I have because she's a range unit and she applies dagger debuff. And it benefits everyone else. Mila, there might be one possible strategy you can use with Mila to make sure one of my units dies turn 1. But you have to equip a very specific skill on your carry unit. I won't tell you what it is because again, I don't want to disclose the best informations. I want to protect myself. But let's say you manage to use Mila very well, and thanks to Mila's turn wheel, you can kill one of my units turn 1. Again, it doesn't mean that Mila is better than Air, because as I said, Air is very good at turn 2 for cleaning the map, which is not true of Mila. So here we have a guest. If you don't know about her, Ashikai, she makes YouTube videos. And she has a good defense and good offense team. And I think it's also worth watching and analyzing because it started really well. And I think since I started using Kevline on this map, it's the first time ever that I have lost 2 units turn 1. And it's really smart. Targeting Mia instead of Lin because Lin has budding bow. And look at the damage. 10, 40. Just the right amount. The exact right amount. And this is why I said earlier, defense is a very important stat to have in Kevline, especially if your defense is already low. And why did she lost? Well, looking at this, Kaden turn 2 is now useless. Of course he can use a swap or reposition, but you have to gamble the trap and it's not something you want to do. So what happens is that you move 2 units to kill, in fact not to attack Lin, and she's not dead. And Air kills Lin. That means 3 units to kill 1 single unit. And this is why I said earlier, if you do that, it's game over. Best case scenario you want to achieve is killing 1 single unit. You don't want 2 units to move and kill just 1 unit. It's not going to work. This is why the team composition is very important. Even if you play very well, if you don't have the right team composition, you lose. So, as I said, she played well, but the team composition is not good. She could have won, I think. But the problem is not about how she played, but the team composition. Again, she played well. I think she played well. And it's nice having the chance to see some other YouTube players on my replays. But yes, in general, you want to think out of the box. You have to think about how you play turn 2 and predict the calf's movement. I think it's also one of the key elements of success. What happens if, for example, Mia and Yoon both die turn 1? Which of my units move and which side? So anyway, I think I have said everything I wanted to say, so thanks for watching.